Hi, friends, it's Kathy, and welcome to It's in the Cards Divination. Today's pick a pile reading is going to look at the situation, this very specific situation about being ghosted. For those of you who don't know what ghosting is, it in a easy terms, it's basically when somebody stops contacting you and you thought things were going well. It's usually referred to in a situation where you are romantic partners, but it can be friendships, it can be anyone. So this can cover any type of relationship. But ghosting is when they stop contacting you for no apparent reason and they have completely cut you off from any text messages, phone calls, any type of communication. And it's very hurtful, obviously. Now, problem is you don't get that final resolution. You don't understand why. So, in today's Pick a Pile reading, we're going to try to find out why you've been ghosted, what is going on, and are they going to try to contact you again one day? We're also going to look at that. So, for those of you who have not done a Pick a Pile reading before, I would suggest pausing this video. Have a look at the three piles. Pile one is the sodalite crystal. Pile two is the amethyst crystal. And pile three is the red jasper. Okay, so once you have looked at these three piles, and if one of them is speaking to you, go in the description box below. There'll be a timestamp for you. You can listen to the reading directly. If neither that one or another, you can also listen to another reading. If the first one doesn't resonate, go to the next one or go to the next one. If none of them resonate, don't worry about it. Let it go. There will be another video down the road and that one will resonate for you. So, my dear friends, I hope no one could ever have to go through this because it is a painful situation and it does say a lot about the person who is ghosting you. It's not about you per se. So let's see if we can find out a little more information about why this happened in the first place. So, my dear friends, I look forward to seeing you in your reading. At pile number one, if you chose the sodalite crystal, and this is your reading. Okay, let's just get started here. For your tarot, this first card is the Chariot. This next card is the Devil. And finally, the third card I pulled was the Four of Swords in the reverse position. Okay, so we're going to now lay out our Kipper cards as well. Let me just move this up a bit so you can see in the frame here. All right, we have, first card is the Courthouse. Oh my, can't see that at all, can we? A little more. Okay. And more. I apologize. Yeah. Then the second card in Kipper is the Marriage. And the third is the Expectation card. So this could be any type of relationship. It does not necessarily have to be a romantic, although you do see the marriage card, so you think to yourself, wow, there's a good chance. But sometimes the marriage card just refers to a partnership of some kind, okay? Or an agreement. So what I'm getting is this person cowardly did not get back to you, did not respond, and just felt like they dropped off the face of the earth. Why? Because it appears, number one, they want a little bit of that adventurous, reckless lifestyle, partying, having a good time, being out and about. It's very surface as far as they want their freedom. They really don't want to be tied down. I know that's pretty obvious. They want to be able to venture out on their own and independently. They don't want to have someone trying to tell them what to do, clearly. What it also tells me is that they made a firm decision, and it appears to be there's for the most of you, this is a romantic situation that maybe you are expecting to get married. That's the expectation they feel, but they panic. They don't want to at this point. So it's all about expectation. There's this pressure that's been put on them where they feel like maybe that's what it is. It may not be real when I say that. Like it doesn't always mean that's what was supposed to happen, but that's how they maybe perceive it. I'm just trying to change the lighting here, so forgive me. Um, they took a very firm stance. Something happened recently, or something has happened. And if you step back to just before you were ghosted, you can see that there might have been a moment where they just were so afraid of losing their single lifestyle. They did not want that. There's this expectation here, getting married. And it could even, for some of you, which would be horrible, if it was, say, short time away from actually getting married and then they bailed, which would be an awful thing for anyone to do. Or it's just telling us that that was the level of expectation. It's like, okay, well, now we've been seeing each other. Now we go to the next level. So they were not, obviously, they were not, they panicked. They got scared. They did not want to end up being trapped. Okay. The devil often, when he comes up in a reading, tells us that they wanted to enjoy the more base things of life, partying, drinking, whatever that involves. Be single life, in other words. I mean, you can even see it in the picture here. The people are drinking and smoking and having a good time. And yes, they didn't go about it clearly in the right way. Nobody should be ghosted. There could even be some of you, which would be even harder. It's like maybe you've been together for a little while. You've been married, you've been common law, it's legal, and then all of a sudden, just out of the blue, there's no contact. They walked out the door and that's it, which is a horrible, horrible thing. And I feel bad for anybody that's going through that. So I'm going to then pull my other card here. Let's see now. It talks about no one wants to listen to that shit. Complaining makes you weak. You have the strength to change your world, so do it. Okay. And on the other side, it says stop fucking whining, which I'm not saying that that's necessarily what you've been doing, but if you were, they couldn't take it anymore. They just, as I say, they just bailed. They couldn't listen to it one more day, one more time. And when the chariot shows up for me, it's like full steam ahead, but on their own. So that it's not like there's another person as a reason why they stopped or they stopped contacting you, they ghosted you. It appears to be more about their lifestyle. They want that single free lifestyle. Okay. Now, let's see. What can you do as far as everybody wants to know? This is the big question. Everyone wants to know. Are they going to contact you eventually? They're going to get back to you. So they've ghosted you, and now you're like, I can't believe they did this. Let's see. Are they actually going to ever contact you again and maybe make good or maybe explain or whatever the case. Will they have the courage enough to do that? Let's see what comes. I'll pull another card for you, my friends. All right, what have we got? It's very possible that they will. The Three of Cups in this picture is upright, which then tells me that there might be contact, but not directly. It might be through your friends, okay, or their friends. They might, well, most likely your friends. There will be some way that they actually try to get contact again. At least that's what it appears to be for the majority of you. And it's up to you what you do with it, right? Maybe at least you'll be able to find out exactly what went wrong. To me, it's too easy to do this, especially because we have phones now. Everybody can just stop texting, stop contacting. It's horrible. I mean, it's no different to what before cell phones that people just didn't call each other, but it really is too easy because it is the more dignified way is to approach someone and give them at least the courtesy of why, right? Explain why. Doesn't mean you're happy about it, but at least give them a why. So, what do you do in the meantime? Let's see. I'll pull another card here. Study. Oh, it's the study card. All right. Time to expand your mind. Study, study, study. Wow. When I see this, yes, you can take it literally. You can go back to your books if that's what you're doing, if you're in school or you're learning. In the meantime, until there's a potential that you actually do hear back. But I think it's more on a different level here. This is more about finding out why they did this as far as it's not personal. And I know it's obviously it's very personal, but you need to do some more research into this type of behavior to try to separate yourself from being personally hurt because it says more about the person who does it than the person left behind, even though it doesn't feel that way. You'd have to carry a lot of guilt, I would imagine, to do this to somebody. And if you're a decent person to begin with, it's going to catch up with them. Don't be too surprised if they reach out to you through your friends, maybe through Facebook, in some way on social media, trying to connect in some way. Maybe they just want to be friends. It's possible because the Three of Cups represents friendships. But what you do with this information is up to you, okay? So I know this is not a great thing, this type of reading I'm doing today, but maybe it gives you some clarity on it. The good news is it doesn't appear to be because there is another person in the situation, and that's why they ghosted you. If this is just if it's a new relationship, okay, because we didn't talk about that, again, they are commitment phobic. Why they're dating, I don't know. If they're out there, maybe all they really were looking for was just something casual, but they panicked. And this is where they saw it was going. Okay. All right, my friends, I will leave that with you, pile number one, and I hope that sheds some light for you. And I look forward to seeing you in my next reading. Bye for now. Hi, pile two. If you chose the amethyst crystal, then this is your reading. I'll just pull a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit. There we go. All right. So let's find out why did they ghost you? And this can be, as I said, doesn't have to be a romantic situation. It can be a partnership, business. It can be a friendship. It can be a family member, even whoever it is that this has happened to you from. And if it resonates with you, okay. We have the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse position. Okay. And then we have the Strength card in the reverse position. There, let me turn that. And then lastly, we have the Knight of Swords in the reverse. No, in the upright. I'm sorry, in the upright position. Okay. So right away, what I'm seeing here is it appears this person has sort of felt this way for some time, that they've tried to be patient and they've tried to work things out, but I guess they just finally lost patience. They were done with it. It was like they just couldn't do it. Now, yes, they are cowardly by the Strength in the reverse. They felt they just didn't have enough strength of character to directly approach you about this. And I know that's no excuse, but it's actually showing up quite clearly that I think this person would have been someone originally who was actually reliable, who was actually maybe in your life for a while, um, that you've been through a lot of things together. And maybe things just didn't feel to them like they were going to go anywhere. Okay. They had tried working at it for a long time, and maybe they just sort of felt it shows that they kind of felt like they had lost that feeling of caring they should have had. Because as you can see, there are no cups cards, which are telling me that this feeling they had, this person, it wasn't there. I think the feelings had kind of run out for them. Now, that's not to say they didn't care, because they obviously were, I feel that they did try. Maybe initially they were putting in the work and to see where it would go, but they've lost hope. They've lost their patience, and they decided, no, the faster I do this, I hate to say it, they're so cowardly that they just, boom, they were gone. It was just like so fast. And it shows that they wanted to venture forth on their own. Does not necessarily mean because of somebody else. I don't feel that this was a situation where there might have been, in a romantic situation, where there might have been another person involved. I don't feel that. It was more their own way of feeling free. They just had to get out of this situation. And unfortunately, that's the only way they knew how. They needed a change. They needed something new, something exciting, something even um they're they were kind of restless and wanting to yeah, just venture forth into something brand new, something that'll get them excited again. And I know that's a very poor excuse, but that's what the cards are showing. Now we'll pull the Kipper cards for you, pile one. And the first one is the sudden wealth. No, sudden wealth, which doesn't necessarily have to do with money, but let's look at it more. Then we have the change card. Oh, well, there you go, right? Change. Oh, you know what I'm getting. Okay, hang on. And then we have the wealthy man. Okay. And that also reflects this night here. You can see there's a person, but it's a male person that's involved. Now, for those of you, if you're a male listening to this, and you think maybe if it was your wife or your partner that was cheating, no, I don't feel that that's necessarily what this is. What I kind of think, honestly, this person is going through what we so aptly term midlife crisis, because you can see the change card and the sudden wealth. It's like, I want to have fun. I want to spend money. I want to get that sports car. I want to be the big man on town. He also wants to feel younger. When the wealthy man shows up, oftentimes it's like they're going through some kind of midlife crisis. They're afraid of getting old. and they want to be young again. That's what the Knight of Swords is also repeating. For the majority of you, this is what is happening. It's kind of like I've got the means financially, maybe at this point in their life. I need a change of direction, a new change in my life. And I want to be young again, perhaps. And that's what I say. I think they've been in this situation for a long time. Some of you, it might be a long-term relationship. Now, if this is not a romantic situation, potentially a platonic, a friendship or business arrangement, the business arrangement feels more clear. They want to venture out where they need more finances behind them. They need a change of the way things are being done, business, with the idea of this partnership or whatever situation you're in with this person. If it's a friendship, they just, it's about money. It's almost like they're saying status is very important to them. Therefore, they want to, and I hate to say this, because I'm so against it, but they think that they might want to be friends with somebody that even is in their own financial world, running in their own circles financially. I know I hate that. But if it is a friendship situation, they want to be the big man around town. Now, if it's a woman, it can still be the same. It doesn't matter about gender. There can also be in some scenarios for you that there's a younger male who's given them some advice, potentially, about doing a change. But I'll be honest with you, I really, not that I haven't been, the strong message that's coming through is definitely the midlife crisis in some way, shape, or form. They want to be young again. They're afraid of getting old. They don't want this. And so, oh, and if that's the case, and this person was with you for a long time and suddenly they have ghosted you, I am so sorry for you because that would be agony to have to go through. Now, this is just the why, okay? Let's see if they might come back. Okay. Okay, I pulled the Nine of Swords. Wow, look at that card. First of all, the potential is a yes. They will. Their grief and their guilt and their remorse is going to the stress of what they did is going to so take over that they just have to clear the air. They're going to want to come back and unburden themselves with you. This is really what I'm seeing here. It's like they can't stop thinking about what they did to you, and it's giving them such intense guilt that they can't sleep at night. That's basically what that card tells me, which I know right now you're probably thinking, good, I hope it does. Doesn't mean you'll take them back, whether it's a friendship or romantic. That part is up to you. But I can tell you that it looks like they will really suffer because of this situation. Okay. Now, let me see what your advice, your oracle advice is self-love. So, yes, this is the time, and this is all you can do, my dear friend, is just to try to weather the storm and treat yourself well. Okay, obviously, self-love. You need to take care of you. What they did is about them, and if you're willing down the road, if they come back, you're willing to take them back in some way, just remember, take care of yourself first. And as well, we all make mistakes too, right? It just depends on the background to this whole scenario. If you've got a lot invested in this situation, long-term relationship, whatever the case is, maybe there's been a lot of time, energy, money put into this relationship, whatever the situation, this is up to you, right? So let's see what my deck says my red deck. Oh, this is a little harsh. Loosen the fuck up, control freaks. Don't get laid. You equals tight ass, which nobody wants to hear that. But perhaps in your relationship, there might have been times when maybe you had a little more control over the situation that could have led to them wanting a change. And I'm not saying it's your fault. It is not. They should never have done this, and ghosting is the wrong thing to do. But that might give you a little more idea of what potentially could be part of this is controlling. Maybe they felt trapped and controlled in this situation. Maybe they felt their money was being controlled. Whatever the case is, my friend, um, that's what's resonating here. Okay. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow but it takes two. It always takes two, regardless of how they left this situation, this relationship with you. That's the part where they're at fault. But it takes two to have a relationship, right? Okay, my dears, I hope you were able to get some clarity on this situation. And I'm going to leave this with you, and I hope that it helped in some way. And I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Bye for now. For pile number 3, if you chose the red jasper, then this is your reading. Okay. So, ghosting. Wow. What a horrible situation. Let's see what the majority of you it's about. First card is the moon card. Okay, let's just. The next is the wands. And finally, it's the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, let us go further into this. All right, now I'm going to pull the Kipper cards that I have for you. We have message. Actually, this is very crooked. Message. We have lovers and imprisonment. Okay. This one feels for the majority of you that this could be for the single people out there who are dating. Okay. Um, we'll start with that. Okay. So for those of you perhaps that are in the dating world and you've just met someone, perhaps they ghosted you and you're sitting there going, okay, I thought this would be good. We hit it off. Well, what happened was they were definitely sexually attracted to you. They really weren't wanting to go the distance with this, of course. There was a physical chemistry, and they realized that. They did not want to go the distance with the Ten of Pentacles. They weren't interested, in other words, in being in a committed relationship with you as far as the long-term haul. Now, that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It's a commitment issue. I think they just thought they could when they wanted to date. Really, all they seem to be looking for is an actual hookup, is what I'm feeling. Okay. So, and it's kind of explained here by the Kipper cards as well. There's this definite chemistry between you. They felt and feel. And it's possible they received a message from someone because they did get some clarity on this situation. There isn't confusion in their mind anymore about this. and they just couldn't see themselves going the distance in this relationship. They suddenly felt trapped. They suddenly felt they panicked. And I know this happens a lot, but I'm seeing them that they just were afraid. And I don't think they were being honest with themselves about the date. We thought they wanted to meet somebody for commitment, and they certainly have the chemistry with you, but once they started thinking about it, they may even have had some contact from somebody that just threw they may even have talked to somebody, a close friend of theirs or somebody that kind of talked them out of it. It's like, why do you want to be trapped in a relationship? That's kind of what I'm seeing from the Kipper cards. It's like you you got, like I said, you've received more clarity because of this represents probably the text messages or emails or some type of communication with somebody, whether it may even have been in conversation with you. You may have had text messages between you, and we sometimes we don't know it, but we give off with our words more than what we think we do, or they interpret it as you're looking for, okay, we had one date or two dates, and now I want to move in with you. Like that's maybe how they interpret it. Yes, they should not have ghosted you. That's a horrible thing to do. Man up, even if it's a woman, man up and come forward and speak the truth. But it's hard to do. It's hard for this person to admit that they just don't see themselves being together for the long haul, for that permanent family situation. Okay. Will they come back? Will they message you again? Will they, like a lot of times people will, okay, they're ghosting me now, but will they try to get a hold of me in the future? So I pulled a card for you and I got the upright Eight of Wands. This is a yes down, and it might even have already happened by the time this video goes out, that they've already texted or messaged you and wanting to, you know, try to make good on what they did here. So, because this appears to be a situation in its infancy stage, like an early dating situation or early meeting situation, it's possible that you might be able to sort it out. But now that's up to you what you do with that information, right? So if you do, here's the advice. Listen. Listen to what they say. And I know that's not, don't just hear, but actually listen either to what they say or what they don't really say. Sometimes you get more information what people don't say, what's missing. Okay. So that's what the oracle cards are telling you, is to try to pay attention to what's really going on here. Okay. And I pulled from my rebel deck, don't believe every shitty thought you have. Says thoughts can be sneaky, lying bastards. That's what the listen card is telling you. Sometimes it's assumptions, like we put assumptions out there. If we don't hear from somebody again right away, you may have heard from them. Then all of a sudden, there's silent radio. In other words, nothing's texting, nothing's going back and forth. Maybe you have misinterpreted, for some of you, the silence as them not wanting to be with you. There is that option as well, because our ego is going to try to protect you, and your brain is going to tell you, oh, well, they're ghosting you. And in fact, maybe they aren't, is what I'm trying to say. But if that's the case, listen to them. Give them a chance to tell you what happened. Use your gut instinct to really filter through all the truths or the lies, and make an informed decision based on that. Okay. Now, for those of you, let's say a platonic situation, or a yeah, we'll go with the platonic, a friendship or a business or a work situation. There has been, again, when it comes to friendship, it's possible that their family may be part of the reason. They may have different cultural values, different ideas about things, and it's influenced their friendship, whether or not they can be with you as a friend. Because often, if it's a very different background, family does play a very important role. Like, for example, if you're both, say, from very different culture backgrounds, the friendship, it just may not work. So they may have allowed that to get in the way. And as I said, a friendship or any situation, whether it's business, it could have been very much in the early infant stages of the relationship, early on. Okay. But they just, in that case, when it's like a friendship or something, it often then this Ten of Pentacles means that they've allowed their own cultural beliefs or their own background or their traditions to influence them. Now, yes, ghosting is still wrong, of course, but I just feel more so that this situation may not be what it seemed. So it may not even be a true ghosting situation. Now, for those of you that it clearly is, which I understand, and for those of you who are in a long-term relationship, okay, there has been, again, some clarity in their mind about this. They still are attracted to you, they still love you, but they're starting to feel very trapped. So you need to look at that situation, listen to what they have to tell you if you are able to do that, or if it's something you really want to pursue. But it does look like they will try to get a hold of you. So if you're in as I say, in a long time relationship and they suddenly ghosted you, well, that's going to be a much different situation. I don't feel this necessarily applies to those people for the majority of you. This appears to be either a platonic or a business situation or a dating situation or a very early on relationship where you're dating, you're not living together, you're actually just still trying to sort out things will work. Okay. Now, I hope that this resonated or something resonated here for you. And I really, as I said, how people, the reason people do these things is wrong. Well, the reason they do it, pardon me, let me rephrase that. What they do is wrong, the way they handle it. This is the reasons why they want to maybe go their separate ways or not be together. It's not the right way of handling it. Clearly, you should meet with somebody and explain. Listen, okay? It's easy to go off when we're angry and we're hurt and just go off on a tangent. This card is telling you if you do want to try to reconnect with this person, you have to really listen to what they have to say to you, okay? I hope that helped, and I send this out to you. And my dear pile 3, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.